This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix, Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Hello, good people. Welcome back to Tuned Into Tennis. I'm your host, Myles David. And listen, we are back to be discussing Wimbledon 2026. It is here. It is not playing around in 2026. The grass is green. The drama at Wimbledon is even greener. And the storylines are already starting to come in. They are loaded just 2 rounds in. We already have defending champions looking a little shaky and rusty. We have a whole American army, if you will, rolling into the draw. We have a legend, an absolute legend in Serena Williams returning to center court. And we have some fashion moments that the internet is still trying to wrap their head around and reacting to. So let's buckle up, pour yourself a drink, get your coffee, set your Apple Watch before your workout, whatever it is that you do to get yourself prepared for another episode of Tuned Into Tennis. I want you to do that right now because we are about to get into it, okay? This is how we're going to do it. We're going to check in on the defending champs, like I said, talk about the Williams sisters situation, which it's crazy that even we're still talking about them in 2026. And you need to hear my full thoughts on the whole Williams sisters, Serena Williams of it all. We're going to break down the American women, and there are a lot of them still alive. Like, if you're listening to this, please keep track of just how many times I say American women, because it's going to be a lot. We're going to run through the men as well, because there are also some American male flags running throughout the draw. We're going to give props to the floaters who could absolutely run through this tournament if they get hot and remain hot. And, of course, we're going to talk about Naomi Osaka in that outfit, because how could we not? Legendary stuff. All right, let's ride. Let's start from the very top. Number 1, the defending champions, and the defending champions are in interesting spots. Let's start with the men's defending champion. Jannik Sinner, the reigning men's champion, numero uno in the world, is through to round 3 at Wimbledon. He survived a fall on the court that had people clutching their imaginary and I think actual pearls. He even bled through his shoes, and his toes are probably all banged up and mangled. And he had to grind through 5 sets in his opening round against Miomir Kecmanovic, a whole 5-setter in the first round after his dramatic exit at Roland Garros in the second round due to his cramping and physical deterioration, if you will. His body language is just a little bit off compared to the man who we saw from April or March of this year all the way through to that Roland Garros second round, who was just confident and clearing the field. His body language and aura isn't quite the same, and that's not really what you want to see as a defending champion, but nonetheless, he's still there. And to be fair, he did get through to his second round against Nuno Borges, and in that match, he was a lot more clean-ish. Not the best performance from Jannik Sinner, especially if you're a Jannik Sinner fan and you're listening to this. It definitely shouldn't go into his repertoire of cleanest matches from beginning to end. I think he has already 40-plus unforced errors, maybe, or approaching that number on his forehand through the first 2 rounds, and he didn't even come close to that in, the first week of Wimbledon last year. So there's definitely something to be said for his form. But he's still in the tournament nonetheless. And I'm not really sure if his form on grass is due to a couple things. Is it due to like the mental shock of just how much he was wanting that Roland Garros title and just how dramatically he exited that tournament, and because he hasn't played a grass court lead-up event since that moment and hasn't really found his footing? That might be why his first couple of matches have been a little awkward. Or if it's a Jannik Sinner who's just experiencing a career shift. And only time will tell that. Like when we look back on Wimbledon's past and just his form this year, we'll have a better scope of it. But in the now, I think it's very interesting to kind of keep an eye on Jannik Sinner, which I don't think I've always said that. I know I haven't always said that. Jannik Sinner is much more interesting when there's something going on. And right now, there's something going on. Like, yes, he is incredible when he kind of puts his foot to the floor of the gas pedal and just clears the field. Like, that is entertaining if you like that. That's not necessarily my cup of tea. I want to see more competition, and I think it's much more interesting right now that he's a little bit more vulnerable. Like, he's coming up against players, in the last month or so that you wouldn't expect to be testing him, and they are, So the next matchup for him on Friday is Jenson Brooksby. Now, if you sleep on Jenson Brooksby, you might wake up with a headache because he has the slices and the dices and just an overall really unorthodox game compared to a lot of the men on the ATP Tour, and he will, like I said, slice and dice you into oblivion if you're not careful. He's sneaky dangerous on the surface. He's had some good grass court results before. I think he's made a third round of Wimbledon in the past. He's playing with nothing to lose, so I would keep an eye out for that match on Friday. I'm not predicting an upset, but I'm not ruling one out either. So Jenson Brooksby versus Jannik Sinner might want to be something you watch. Who else? Well, of course, we were talking about the defending champions. On the women's side, Iga Swiatek, the defending champion, had herself quite a moment in the first round, and I mean, like, like when your friends are talking about one of your past, like, dramatic moments, and they're like, "You having a moment, aren't you?" I feel like that is what Iga Swiatek had on the court. I mean, she visibly cried in her chair after her match against Taylor Townsend, which she won in the first round. It was tested. It was a 3-set match. And listen, like, I am a human being, obviously. I can be emotional myself. I'm sensitive. I have empathy, all of those things. But I'm also a straight shooter. And I have to say, when the defending champion and a top 4 seed like Iga Swiatek is going to be a Hall of Famer, all of those things, is tearful after a round 1 match, which she was supposed to win on paper, that just, to me, signals that maybe everything is not okay on the home front. It is a testament to kind of just how she is as a person, which is completely fine to be. But I also think in that specific situation, it is kind of indicative of some flux in her life. And there's been enough personal chatter about her personal life that indicates that, things may be a little rocky. She has a new coach in Francisco Roig, and she also has that sports psychologist, Daria something, who never seems to leave her side, which I'm not sure if that is ethical. I know you can travel with your client, if you will, if you're a sports psychologist. That doesn't seem unheard of, but there's just a certain something. I don't know it to be true, but my intuition as a human is telling me something in that relationship can be a little bit rocky, which then, because tennis is so emotionally and mentally charged, it kind of makes its way to the court. So that may explain some of the tears. I mean, I'm not in her body. I'll never know 100%, but it was just a little bit alarming to see her cry after a win as the defending champion. I mean, the defending champions, both Iga and Jannik, Wimbledon makes it a point to kind of really give them reverence and have them be the first set of feet to open up the tournament on center court. So it is kind of a lot of pressure, so it may have come from that too. But if you look at Iga's entire season, a 3-set match against Taylor Townsend making her cry is just another drop in the bucket of things that are just off kilter. For a woman who's been the world number 1, has been dominant in multiple, eras, if you will, of her career, it's just a little bit eyebrow-raising. But I do have to say, she bounced back in round 2 against former world number 1 and former Wimbledon finalist Karolina Pliskova. So she handled her in straight sets, clean performance. She looked like she maybe had washed the first round off and, gathered herself together, came back focused. And sometimes you do need that watershed moment to kind of just cry it out, see the next day, get all your emotions out. So credit to her for being that vulnerable. But I'm still not sold that she's going to defend or is going to be knocking on championship weekend. I'm not 100% sure. Mostly also because there's this player who's given her trouble before named Alex Eala. Her third round match, the very next match, is on Saturday against Alex Eala. Eala is a young Filipino star and coincidentally became the first Filipino woman to reach the third round at Wimbledon. And all of those things matter because Eala has gotten in Swiatek's head before. She beat her in Miami. She's pushed her on clay even in Madrid. She's also looked very good at this tournament so far. She herself has come down from a set in the second round to beat Maya Joint, who we'll talk about later. That's the same woman who took out Serena Williams. Eala beat her in the last 2 sets, 6-2, 6-love. So she's playing some pretty solid tennis right now. She always has that fearless, I'm going out there and play the best I can no matter what kind of aura about her. And again, I think this third round match could be an upset brewing. I'm more confident that Iga is going to have a problem with Alex Eala than Jannik Sinner is going to have a problem with Jensen Brooksby. Both of them probably going to be tested, but I do think Iga is going to have her alarms up, and I think Eala is going to love every single minute of that. She's probably going to get put on court 1 or a center court maybe. I don't know if she's been on either one of those courts yet in her career. I think she has. I think Eala has been on center court because she played Barbora Krejcikova when Barbora Krejcikova was defending champion. So yeah, I think she has the experience. She has the experience of beating Iga Swiatek in a big moment. So we'll see. That's definitely a match I'll have, highlighted to watch. So, Eala, I'm rooting for you. Keep the Filipino wave going. There's something about her representation that I really, really like. Something is very positive about seeing how many flags come out for her, how many people are tweeting and viewing her stuff on YouTube and all kind of things. I just enjoy it, It's a different flavor. It's a different spice in the pot. And I like her game. She's like Eala is like a Angelique Kerber of the current that I can root for. If you know me, Angelique Kerber was not somebody I enjoy rooting for throughout my tennis watching life. But I can do it for Alex Eala. If you put Alex Eala's game and Angelique Kerber's game side by side, you may see some similarities there. I don't think I'm just making that up, but Eala is more fun to root for. Just saying. Okay, speaking of fun to root for, who is forever fun to root for, Serena Williams. The Serena Williams. That's our next topic. And I have thoughts. Some of those thoughts might ruffle some feathers, if you will, and I tend to ruffle some feathers here and there. But if your feathers are ruffled, then, I don't know, fly. Use them. All right, Serena Williams has come back to Wimbledon, as we all know, at 44 years old. That seems to be the headline, her age. And she has not played a competitive singles match since 2022. Yet, she walked on the center court, and that entire place forgot about all of that and was just in the moment with Serena Williams. Like, you could literally just feel the energy through the television screen. My God, that woman is still the most magnetic athlete this sport has ever produced. Full stop. Period. It's Serena Williams. She ultimately lost to Maya Joint, though, who's a 20-year-old Australian who has been in a rough state of form the last year. 10-plus match losing streaks. So that's not great on paper. But I do want to talk about the second set because Serena Williams won it, and that's the bright spot. Serena Williams uncorked some serves that just reminded you of how exactly she became so synonymous with women's tennis, that center court felt all of that. She was in the moment. She was doing the come-ons and the yelling, and it was just there when she won that second set. She even had the momentum in the third set, but then again, it kind of started to show that she hasn't played a competitive match in almost 4 years, and she's 44 years old, because there is some of that. Just, it is what it is, you know what I mean? So she ultimately lost the match, but that second set was the moment. I mean, literally, I was watching it on television. Like, am I getting tangled up in the Serena Williams-ness of it all again? Like, I thought I had put the banner down. I mean, and to be more analytical of the match, the movement, it did look like a 44-year-old woman who hadn't competed in singles in almost 4 years. Like, respectfully, that's just, like I said, that's just what it is. Those type of things as an athlete are never going to necessarily get better with age. They're going to come down some. And she's battling that and will battle that every time she takes to the court for however long she wants to do it. So there's that. The movement is always going to be a question mark. But, and however, what will not be a question mark is that serve, Your Honor. Serena Williams and that serve. I mean, I truly believe Serena Williams could be 65 years old and applying for her Social Security check, and she will still be ripping the smoothest serves you've ever seen. Promise you. It's just in her. Like, her serve should be required viewing for everybody that wants to take tennis seriously. Like, if you're in the juniors and you feel like your girl or boy that, you're bringing to all the tennis matches and stuff has real potential, you need to be putting Serena Williams' serve on loop every day. Like, just taking tidbits from that serve over the years, because, my God, like, if you just drop a lima bean of confidence of Serena Williams' serve on your player, you'll be cooking with some grease. How did I say lima beans and grease in the same sentence? Oh, I'm so Southern. I said what I said, though. I said what I said. Serena Williams and that serve is just iconic, forever, synonymous with greatness, and there's nothing like it. There are some good serves on the WTA Tour now, don't get me wrong, but Serena's has always just been, she's it. She's it. She's it. Now, I do want to address the elephant in the room. Maybe it's big, maybe it's small, I don't know. But that whole post-match press conference that Serena Williams didn't attend, the lack of a post-match press conference, has low-key been getting on my nerves. Like, the tweets, the threads, the headlines, annoying stuff. The press and media have tried to make that into a whole thing. Serena skipped the press conference because she tweaked her right knee in the first set and was excused by the Wimbledon and WTA medical teams. Her agent literally confirmed this. Shout out to Jill Smaller. The knee was reportedly swollen. They offered her crutches, which she declined and walked out on her own accord, which, listen, if you offer me crutches, I'm taking them, especially if my knee is swollen. She better than me, because I would have been on crutches just for the drama of it all. Just why not? But the reaction of people in media, you think she committed a crime because of all of that. I mean, this is where I guess I get on my soapbox, because the relationship that a certain segment of mostly white, mostly male sports media has with Serena Williams is genuinely bizarre. They've spent almost 30 years actively wishing she wasn't who she is, actively wishing that she would go away. It's just dripping in the way they talk about her. And yet, the think pieces that they write about her are the ones that get the most traction. I'm not saying whatever they type about before and after Serena Williams gets no traction, but you see how much they put into talking about Serena Williams, and it is just dripped with undercutting just how important and impactful she has been over the last 30 years. I think that is just so weird. Like, she's synonymous in a way with tennis that nobody else is, to the point where, like, if Maria Sharapova had a comeback, or Victoria Azarenka, or Martina Hingis, or any other of the white female counterparts, yeah, you can be like, oh, he's pulling the race card. Listen, the race card is there. Do you not know what world we live in? I didn't create the card. The whole idea of race as a systemic thing in America and in the world as a whole. I didn't create it. I'm just here, and I can see it as a card when it plays itself on the table. Like, don't come at me with that. You're playing the race card. I'm going to play it. Do you not know who's in the most powerful seat in the world? Like, and y'all, never mind. Y'all let him in that twice. Whatever. Back to Serena. She is synonymous with the sport, obviously, and if anybody else had done the same thing, been upset at themselves after a loss, which Serena Williams has been the first to say she doesn't like losing, who likes losing, but I think the best champions openly admit they have a certain kind of issue with losing, if you will. That's Serena Williams. But her peers that she's beaten all the livelong day would be given so much grace in that situation. I just know it. And I've watched enough tennis and seen how people talk about these athletes to know that they'd be given. I'm not saying that nobody in the world would have their qualms, but the general tone and texture of the conversation around what the other people do and what Serena does is just different. It's different. It always is different. I think that's what makes her impactful, is that she's risen above all of that. Like when they've called her a man, when they've said that she's doped, when they've said she's done this, when they've said she's done that, she still showed up and won in spite of all of that. I mean, wrapped as a mummy, pregnant, like coming back from poor form and all of that stuff. She's just been, I could go on and on about Serena, but yeah, I hate that they always try to make it seem like she's done something that is bad for the sport. Like she's bad for the sport. I hate that. I genuinely do not like that, but she always have a place in my heart. I don't care. I don't care if you call me biased or say that I'm, protecting a black woman. Yeah, I am. This is my platform. I can do that. And we'll always do it. So I don't care. Serena Williams being back on center court, although she didn't get the win, and Maya Joint played well, it was still a moment. Everybody was talking about it up and down the timelines. Like, her matches, her moments, her everything are just always going to be, personally for me, great, and just also great for the sport. It just is what it is. Sorry to tell you. And on that note of Serena, the good news, the greater news, is that it looks like she's doing everything she can to play doubles with her sister this week. They're scheduled for Saturday, and if they take the court together, it'll be the first time that they've played doubles together since 2022. At the U.S. Open, that is. They've played doubles together so many times and are really, like, as much as both of their singles careers are lauded and talked about and, game-changing, the doubles career by itself, if they didn't do anything else, is also extraordinary. I mean, they are 14-time doubles Grand Slam champions together. They are 3-time Olympic gold medalists together. They are literally icons. They shaped the way women's doubles was played, obviously also women's singles. So, yeah, the Williams sisters are still must-see television, even in their mid to deep 40s. Set your DVR on Saturday. Set your alarm if you got to get up early. Tell your friends if that doubles match happens, which I'm pretty sure it will happen. I don't think Serena has gone all this way to let a little, fluid in the knee or swollen of the knee stop her. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they play it. If you find yourself with a ticket to that match or watching on television, enjoy it, because you really don't know, how many times it's going to happen. But just also remind yourself that the Williams sisters are still relevant in 2026 and will always be relevant. Always. No matter what they say, no matter what they write, no matter what people try to cut them down and say somebody was better that played in the 50s and 60s and didn't accomplish as much, Margaret Court, it's still Venus and Serena. And in that order, too. It's Venus and Serena. I've seen people put Serena and Venus, and, I get it because Serena has had the more prolific career, but OGs know. Venus and Serena. And they're playing doubles again. Doubles is a whole kind of different sport in a way. So I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if they win a match. Serena literally won a doubles match with Victoria Mboko 3 weeks ago. So there's something there. And Venus won a match in doubles with a different partner. So they do have experience playing doubles together. Not together. They have experience playing doubles separately, and they've gotten wins. So, Williams sisters, man. I can't believe I started the journey in 2006, which is late, literally, for some people. Some people have been with the Williams sisters since the 90s, and I started in the 2000s, and here I am in 2026 still talking about them with a mic in front of my face. Crazy. All right. Let's go from a conversation about two American women to the generation that is coming up behind them and the generation of now, because there are a bunch of USA flags on the women's side in the ladies singles draw at Wimbledon. Let's start with Coco Gauff, who obviously has said time and time again that she's been inspired by the Williams sisters. Her narrative at Wimbledon and grass in general has been a little bit weird because it's where we first met her. At least, the world first knew Coco Gauff as defeating Venus Williams in 2019 in the first round, getting all the way to the fourth round, and that's kind of where her professional story has started. But for someone of her caliber, the fourth round showing has been where it's been best at for her career. She's never gone further than the fourth round. Yeah, I don't know if that's a work in progress or she just is. It's just icky, the grass court vibe. It's nowhere near the same vibes of Coco Gauff when she gets on the clay or the hard courts. It's just an interesting vibe. But this year was kind of icky still. She lost that first match in Berlin coming in, so it was, tricky to see if she was going to find her feet. But the first two rounds, she got through. First round was easy against Tamara Korpatch. She snapped the 4-match losing streak that she had on grass because she did lose in the first round in 2025. So, again, if you're looking how tennis works with the rankings, the 52 weeks of it all, I should say, you're always defending points. So from that perspective, she did better than last year. And then she has gone even one more. In round 2, she played Solana Sierra, who tested her mightily in Rome earlier this year. And they played what I think is a contender for match of the tournament through 2 rounds. I mean, Coco was down 7-4 in the deciding set. And then one of the parts of her game that has actively been questionable got her through. Her serve got her through in the tight moments, and she ended the match with a serve down the T-ace, and she just completely kind of lost it for a second. Because I think she knows that she wants she wants her grass results to be better, and they just haven't been. But, that's why she's Coco Gauff, and she's a 2-time Grand Slam champion. She keeps fighting. What does that mean? I don't know. I think this draw for her is going to be workable. I think every round, you can't take any round for granted because she plays Claire Liu next, but Claire Liu for a spot in the fourth round, respectfully, because Claire Liu came through qualifying, and that's always tough work, and Claire Liu has been a pretty solid top 100 player, so she's working her way back to that now, so shout out to her. But it's still, if you could have your pick of the litter, a Claire Liu spot for a spot in the fourth round is good going, and we'll see if Coco can have a really good run. And when I say really good run, I mean quarterfinals. I think a quarterfinal run at Wimbledon would be good because it would, one, make her a quarterfinalist at every single Grand Slam, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, she's won the U.S. Open, won the French, been to the semis of Australia, and just missing that quarterfinal at Wimbledon. So, yeah, let's aim for a quarterfinal at Wimbledon, Coco Gauff. I think you got that in you. I think there's just a lightness to her that I've seen in the last couple times I've seen her on television and just messing around with Chris Eubanks, and I love the dynamic, by the way. More of that. I think she'll be able to work her way through this third round match, and then I think the fourth round match could be against Belinda Bencic or Anna Kalinskaya. Those are threats, and I'm not saying that she's going to get through it easily, but she can fight her way through it. And respectfully, Belinda Bencic and Kalinskaya are not big match players. They're good players, but they're not big match. Everybody looking at you. I don't think of them. It's not synonymous of me to think about them in that kind of way. Sorry, not sorry. Somebody who I think is a little bit of a big match player in her own right is Jessica Pegula. She's still out here hunting for a Grand Slam trophy. She literally is, I think, one of the best players in the world who does not have a major to their name yet. And she's had a relatively kind draw. She plays another Jessica Butas Mignero in round 3. And I think Pegula is somebody you should watch. Again, round by round, anybody can win on any single day in the WTA especially, but I think Pegula is set up for something nice. On a good day, on a day where she's not flat, because she does throw in those kind of performances every so often, if she's dialed in and feeling good on grass, like the way she plays, how low her center of gravity is, the depth of her shots, the flatness of her shots, she's just solid all the way around. And we've seen players be solid all the way around and get Wimbledon titles, you know? So Pegula, it might be your time. So far, so good. Another American woman, actually two, Amanda Anisimova and Madison Keys. Amanda Anisimova, who you remember last year, made the Wimbledon final. Unfortunately, she lost to 6-love. 6-love. That was a dunce. That was a dud. She came through Sofia Kenin in the second set in a 3-set thriller. She had 46 unforced errors. 46, that's quite a bit. But her serve got her through. I think she had like 20-something aces, which I'm not going to say you got to put an asterisk next to it, but if you know, you know, her opponent, Sofia Kenin, the 2020 Australian Open champion, is not a great returner. She gets aced quite a lot. I don't know if she can't read the serves, doesn't care to like stretch out to get them, but she gets aced quite a bit. Nonetheless, Anisimova won that match, and she's through to the third round, where she will be taking on Madison Keys. And that is a match I'm super excited for. There's a bunch of third-round matches I'm excited for, man, on the women's side. Like, that's must watch. If you're a fan of Americans tennis or just, you know, love seeing that USA flag like some people do in tennis, Anisimova versus Keys is going to be the one you're going to watch. Two women who both have great games for grass. Somebody's going to go home and somebody's going to make a statement. I'm kind of pushing for Keys. Not that I don't like Anisimova, but Keys has only made a quarterfinal here, and I think there's real room for Keys to maybe possibly add to her Grand Slam tally here. I don't know. I'm not going to jinx her, but, you know, Keys has been looking good so far. She dropped her opening set to Kayla Day, but then in the second round, she beat Swan of Great Britain very comfortably. So, Madison Keys and Amanda Anisimova, that is a third-round match you need to watch for sure. Let's see. Yeah, I think if you take anything away from that segment, just don't be surprised if Coco Gauff, Pegula, Anisimova, Keys, any of those four names, literally any of them, don't be surprised if we're talking about them on finals weekend. I think they could hold a trophy at Wimbledon this year. I think it's possible. Not that they're going to blow everybody out the water, but I think it's definitely possible for sure. They have a chance to win this tournament. Keep watching for sure. Hey guys, if you're enjoying today's episode, please take a look at the episode description, support the growth of the show by grabbing a coffee from the link, and while you're at it, be sure to engage with Tuned Into Tennis on social networks. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook is where you can find us. Leave a review if you like what you're listening to so far, and let's get back to the show. Let's stay with the Stars and the Stripes, but let's transition to the men's side. And I guess we should open with the not-so-great news first. Ben Shelton, he went out in the first round, the fourth seed, going in round one. That's not great. And if I'm honest, this one does concern me a little bit because in the short time that Ben has been a pro, like I think Ben's first Grand Slam that he ever played was the 2022 U.S. Open, and he was like a teenager, and he got to the quarterfinals of the Australian Open in 2023. Like, he really burst out there. His reputation on tour has been a guy who comes up big at the majors in the best-of-5 format. That's been his thing. He has said that that's his thing. But the last two Grand Slams have been disappointing losses. The one at the French Open to, what's his name? I know it's a Belgian. Somebody tell me. I know he lost to a Belgian. And then this one he lost to Otto why am I struggling with names? Usually I'm so good at them. Otto Vintaren? Vitsenaren? Oh, somebody's going to chop me up about this. Sorry. But he lost to Otto I know Otto was his first name. He's from Finland. I do know that. But it's just a match that I kind of really wasn't worried about, only to see the result and be like, oh, Ben is struggling. And then keep watching and see him lose that match, especially in a final set tiebreaker. It is disappointing. I think he's disappointed by it, obviously. It does raise questions about where he is in his game right now, however, he's still the guy that has won 3 tournaments this year. 2 500s and a 250, all of them on 3 different surfaces: Dallas hard court indoors, Munich on clay outdoors, and then Stuttgart on grass outdoors. He still has a shot of making the final 8, the ATP finals in Turin. And I think if you make that, you've had a good season for sure. You're literally one of the best 8 players in the world. And I think he set himself up nicely, especially if he goes on a good run on the U.S. hard courts to get there. But these 2 losses in pretty close succession are questionable, especially because, they're Grand Slam losses. And no matter how you want to slice it and dice it, you are judged by your Grand Slam success in tennis, because there's 4 of them every year. You get 4 chances to win the Super Bowl, So we'll see what happens with Ben Shelton. I'll be watching. There are people that are kind of hoping that he eventually gets rid of his father. I'm not necessarily pushing for that. I don't necessarily feel that in my bones that is what's holding him back, but I have seen some conversations happening online about, it's time to get rid of that father. I think he enjoys working with his dad. I think his dad enjoys working with him, and that particular relationship of father and son dynamic doesn't yield or come off big alarm signs to me. I could be wrong. Tell me what you think. But I don't think that is necessarily the problem. I think eventually he'll move on from his dad, because that's just kind of the natural order of things. Everybody, you usually don't keep, if your coach is your mother or father, I feel like there are special cases where people, either have that coach or have them as their coach forever or come back to them. But there typically is a time where you kind of want to invest in what you think is right for yourself, independent of your parent. You know what I mean? So I think that time will come naturally. If it's around the corner, who knows? But I'm not necessarily saying that it's a problem now. We'll see. Remains to be seen. Other American men are still in the tournament. In better news, Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul, and Frances Tiafoe are all in the 3rd round. And Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul in particular have looked really clean, not dropping a set, putting in efficient, purposeful tennis performances, kind of making a statement that they're here and taking it seriously, and they're, all systems go. Tommy Paul in particular has looked really dialed in. Not that Taylor Fritz hasn't, but Tommy has just looked really, really sharp. But Tommy's 3rd round is not easy. He gets Hubert Hurkacz. Hubert Hurkacz is a former semifinalist at Wimbledon. If you know Hubert Hurkacz, you know he's a tough out in general, but more particularly, he's more of a tough out on grass. He can kind of end your tournament before you even know what happened, with the serves and, quick 1-2 punches. So I think that's another 3rd round match to keep an eye out on, especially if you're hoping for Tommy Paul to do some damage. Tommy Paul to do some damage. So wishing the best for Tommy there. But Hubie's a good guy too, so we'll see what happens in that match. And then Tiafoe came from a set down in his round 2 match that took forever to even get on the court, because his first round match took 2 days to get through. It's kind of been one of those funky last match on for Tiafoe. The lights get dark, or not the lights get dark, the lighting gets dark, because he's been on the outside courts, and the outside courts at Wimbledon don't have arena lighting like the center court and court 1 does. So once it gets to 9 approaching 10 o'clock, you can't see the ball, so they have to suspend play and have them come back the next day, which is obviously not unheard of. It's been a tradition in tennis. I don't love that, but it's just kind of the nature of the beast sometimes. He dropped his opening set against Jan Choinski in the second set. He broke serve at 6-5 in the third set to go up 2-1, and from there the momentum was all his. He showed his typical kind of Tiafoe showmanship, being in the moment, and I think that's where Tiafoe is the best. Like when he finds that happy balance of being dialed in, but also like the showman, kind of pushing himself forward towards the crowd and also being still locked in and focused. That's a good Tiafoe, and even more of a problem on the grass court. So looking forward to a potential Tiafoe and Taylor Fritz fourth round. I think the winner of that obviously goes on, if they both get there, knock on wood, the winner of that obviously goes on to the quarterfinals. And, I believe both of them are in that side of the draw with, are they on the side with Sinner? No. They're on the side with Zverev. So, yeah, that's the bottom half of the draw. Never know what could happen. Tiafoe and Fritz, never know. But yeah, altogether, Tiafoe, Paul, and Fritz have looked pretty good. So that's good going for the American flags. There are some surprise packages under the red, white, and blue. Mr. Michael Jing, a college player from Columbia University by way of New Jersey. And by way of China, his parents are immigrants from China. He beat Cam Norrie en route to reach his first third round at a major. Shout out to New York kids, by the way, and people going to Columbia University. I don't know how y'all do it. I don't know how y'all go, actually pay attention to class when there's just so much going on in New York. Couldn't do it, but I respect you. There's also a Zachary Zvida from California. He's into his second consecutive Grand Slam third round after a great run in Paris at Roland Garros. And there's also Mr. Marcos Giron, who is always a tough out, veteran of the tour, quads and glutes for days. If you know, you know about Marcos Giron. He actually faces Alexander Zverev next, the reigning French Open champion. And Marcos Giron is not a easy out at all. The only title Marcos Giron has on the ATP Tour is on grass, and that is a complete opposite to Alexander Zverev, who is not the most comfortable on grass. So, I know Zverev has the confidence of being a Grand Slam champion now, finally, but I circled that match too as a potential problem because if there's somebody you don't want to play who has their leg under them and is comfortable on grass, one of those people is Marcos Giron. So I think he has a puncher's chance to upset Alexander Zverev. I don't think Zverev is going to be coming into that match taking it lightly. And then also, who I mentioned earlier, going up against Jannik Sinner, Jenson Brooksby. Talked about him already. He is also into the third round. So that American flag is flying quite high on both the ladies and gentlemen's side at Wimbledon. Okay, let's talk about some people who have actually had success already at Wimbledon, the people that know exactly what they're doing on these courts, the experienced names, the former champions. Let's start with Novak Djokovic. He showed up to Wimbledon wearing an ill-fitting Lacoste. Oh, I'm going to be so shady. Djokovic showed up to Wimbledon wearing an ill-fitting Lacoste blazer on court, which I guess if I had won 7 Wimbledons, I'd wear whatever I want to and look like a schoolboy reject, but whatever. It wasn't flattering to him. Like I said if I said on Threads, if this was a motion party, he would not be getting in with that big white blazer and a big green patch. It was a fashion no. We'll get to a better fashion yes later on in the show, but that was a fashion no. But his tennis has looked okay as far as Djokovic tennis goes. He was tested in the first round against Wu Yibing. He won that in 4 sets, and it was definitely quite a battle. But in the second round, he went out and made light work of Stefanos Tsitsipas. I believe that was his 12th win in a row over Tsitsipas, and Tsitsipas looks a shell of himself, to be honest with you. Djokovic has the momentum, not momentum, excuse me. Djokovic has the experience more than the rest of the field on grass, on these courts. He, like I said, is a 7-time champion. He knows where to stand. He knows where to move. He knows how to handle the conditions, the crowd. Although I hate to admit it, he's dangerous. And, if there's ever going to be a moment for him to get that elusive 25 major, it's going to be here. But there's still a lot of tennis to play. We'll see. João Fonseca is lurking in his section, though. That could be a potential 4th-round match. The young Brazilian João Fonseca, they played just a month ago at Roland Garros, and that was an epic, crazy match. People are obviously pulling to see more new blood in Fonseca. At least I am. So if they play again, I'd love to see that match and rooting for Fonseca. But, Djokovic is always going to be a tough out, even at 38 or 39, whatever he is. I don't know. Djokovic, you've had your fun, Djokovic. You're a great tennis player. We know. We all know. We get it. You're the guy. Yeah. But, yeah, all that. Going from one superstar to another one, Elena Rybakina. Elena Rybakina, the 2022 Wimbledon champion. Her serve is still doing the exact same thing that got her the trophy in 2022. I mentioned good serving earlier at the top of the show in Serena Williams, and Rybakina must have been watching Serena Williams back in the day because she actually has a formidable serve that is, when she gets up there, she knows what she's doing. She crushed Katie McNally 6-1, 6-2 in round 2. And actually, she has a mathematical chance to leave the tournament as the world number 1. Mathematically, I don't think that'll be exciting by any chance, but she does have a chance depending on how Sabalenka does. So if Rina Sabalenka doesn't get as far as she did last year, which was the semifinals, and Rybakina wins or goes further than that, I think there's a mathematical chance that she leaves the tournament as the world number 1. Again, I won't be writing home about that because Rybakina just does not move the needle anywhere, respectfully. But great server, great hitter of the ball, just robotic. What am I supposed to say here? Gives me nothing. Somebody that gives me a little bit more is Barbora Krejcikova, the 2024 Wimbledon champion. She's through to the round 3 after eliminating reigning French Open champion Mira Andreeva. She did so in pretty dramatic fashion after winning the first set, losing the second, and coming back to win the third, and had a whole bunch of match points before she finally got it. Excuse me. Like I always say, you literally have to respect the Czech women at Wimbledon on grass. You just have to. Barbora is smooth. She's kind of unassuming. She has length and power on her shots that you don't always see coming or don't always associate with her until you see her play and you're like, oh, totally get it. So she'll be a fascinating match. She plays another Czech woman, Bartunkova, in round 3, which if I had tickets for Wimbledon and was in London, I'd be sat for that one. I think they're going to use that entire court. The front, the back, the sides. Bartunkova versus Krejcikova on Friday should be a fun one. And I don't think they've ever played each other. I'm sure Bartunkova knows who Krejcikova is fully. Bartunkova's only 20. And it's probably looked up to Krejcikova in some ways. But yeah, that'll be a fun one. And then these two men aren't former champions, but they have made big impacts in Wimbledon. And I'm speaking of Grigor Dimitrov and Matteo Berrettini. Grigor Dimitrov beat the 15th seed Jakub Mincic in 4 sets, and Matteo Berrettini beat 20th seed Arthur Fils, sad face, in 4 sets, and now they play each other. These are two men who, when healthy, are absolutely built for Wimbledon. Dimitrov is a former semifinalist. Berrettini is a former finalist back in 2021. And then if you remember last year, Grigor had center dazed, confused, and folded before he unfortunately blew a muscle in his chest and had to retire in tears. That was pretty dramatic. So I think they are both hungry to wring out as many good moments on big stages on grass as they can. It doesn't get much bigger than Wimbledon, so here we are. And also, can I just say, Grigor and Matteo are attractive men. They just are. The camera, the television loves them. They just are. They're cool white boy handsome, respectfully, as I like to say. If you brought them home and you had been telling your black friends that you had been taking a trip to the Swiss Alps or to the mountaintops and you brought Grigor or Matteo through to the Thanksgiving dinner, they would get it. Mom and dad would get it. Okay, I get it. That's an attractive man. And I don't think either of them have necessarily been majorly problematic in their personal lives, so that makes it easier to digest them too. Grigor has had his issues with Serena. They kind of dated, but now they're friends, and Dimitrov is leaping up to see Serena now, which is a little bit of an eyebrow raise, just a little bit. Never mind. I'll leave it alone. Yeah, and Berrettini's cool too. This is not to say I would invite them to the cookout. This is not I am respectful. I keep my cookout invites close to the chest. But as far as cool white men go, which are a rarity these days, Matteo Berrettini and Grigor Dimitrov are cool in my book. So hopefully when they play each other, there's no physios that get called onto court because neither of them can use an injury. So I'm wishing both of them health, wealth, and success on grass this year, okay? Go Berrettini and Dimitrov. Hope their match is good. Just be healthy and get through it, okay? No injuries, fellas. No injuries. All right, before we get out of here, let's talk about the segment I've been holding in all episode. We got to talk about Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka, that's my girl. Because not only is she through to the 3rd round, which is equaling her best ever result at Wimbledon, Her entrance to the tournament has been a full moment, and I don't really use that word lightly. Like, she has been having entrances to the Grand Slams this year, and I love that. No matter how many people get upset about it, and they're like, oh, stick to tennis. Naomi Osaka is using those entrances and using that platform, her platform, to expose people to arts, explore everything that she wants to as the woman that she is. And I love that. She's interested in tennis, obviously, and she's also interested in fashion design. And what other time to kind of like marry those two worlds than when you are walking onto a Grand Slam stage? Like, she gets it. Naomi walked onto court wearing a custom floor-length, all-white kimono gown designed by Tokyo-based designer Hana Yagi with crane embroidery, cherry blossom details, an obi-style belt, vintage bridal fabric, and the two-lace skirt. Some of this is like fashion things I've put together. I'm not a super fashion head, but, you know, whatever. Also, beneath her kimono, she had a custom Nike dress with 3D floral details and a scalloped hem inspired by the Japanese art of kirigami, which is paper cutting and folding. And all of that is within Wimbledon's all-white dress code, and she found a way, like I said, to be completely herself and completely respect the tradition of both Wimbledon and her Japanese heritage at the same time. Like, kudos to Miami. Kudos to, oh my God, am I thinking about Young Miami? Where all my skin, I love and hate that song. I really do. Back to Naomi. The inspiration for her design and her dress, she told reporters she was inspired by Lucy Liu's character in Kill Bill, Volume 1. Quote, I always tell people I like to be a video character when I'm playing on the court, she said. I try to embody that, and I mean, like, if you know Naomi, she loves anime and video games. That's like the best thing ever, and I love that for her. She's in character when she's on the court. She's performing. She's tuned in, no pun intended, and she's also letting her outfits tell a story as well as her tennis. And I enjoy that. I'm not a hater of it at all. Do I like everything that she's put on? Not necessarily, because fashion can be hit or miss, and it also is personally subjective. But this one, you're on point with. You're on point with, Naomi. I like this one a lot. I really do. And on top of all that, she won her match. She won her second round match and is now in the third round, equaling her best performance. So that's equaling her best performance at Wimbledon. She got to her career best performance at the French Open a month ago. So all in all, it's been going good for Naomi Osaka. It's not necessarily the highest heights that she's ever had. She's not lifted a Grand Slam title in 5 years, but I still respect the way that she's doing her own thing in tennis. Also, her daughter Shy just turned 3 years old today, in July 2nd, actually. So happy birthday to little Shy. Shy is obviously a Cancer baby, a July Cancer, which, of course, is the best sign out there. I'm a little biased, obviously. We love to see it. I know Naomi loves being a mom, so again, shout out to little Shy. We support all Cancer babies, okay? I don't care what y'all say. Y'all be eating crab legs and crab puffs and crab cakes, but then y'all say, oh, I don't like cancers? No. I don't like it. Respect the cancers in cancer season, okay? All right. There's some other, and then Naomi plays Daria Kasatkina for a spot in the fourth round, which I feel like, again, on grass is an opportunity. Not saying she's going to ease through it, but Kasatkina gives her a ball to hit, and she's going to hit it. So we'll see what happens with Naomi next time we tune into tennis, okay? There's some other names I want you to know now that we're on the home stretch. Some of these you might know, some of these you might be sleeping on, so let's kind of go rapid fire with it. Felix Auger-Aliassime, FAA is the third seed. He has not dropped a set yet at Wimbledon. And that's a little surprising given like how many times I've seen Felix drop sets to players. He plays Michael Zheng, who I mentioned earlier. He plays Michael Zheng next, which is not a gimme at all. But if Felix gets through, I think it could be a seriously developing story in the second week, which is kind of how I feel like Felix likes it. I think he likes being just below the radar, and this is exactly where he is, and he's like a below-the-radar third seed. So no big talking moments yet, no drama, just him winning and quietly building momentum. So we'll see what happens. Also, Davidovich Fokina, Alejandro Davidovich Fokina of Spain, is in the tournament as well. He's not dropped a set, and he won his very first ATP Tour title just last week in Mallorca. His first career title, the monkey's off of his back. That kind of energy when you finally get a monkey off your back or do something you've always wanted to do can kind of, stick your chest out a little bit, if you will. And he's also a floater. He's seeded, but a floater that I want to track. I think Davidovich-Fokina likes his grass court tennis, and if Davidovich-Fokina and FAA both win round 3, they'll play each other for a spot in the quarterfinals, which is, as far as tennis matches go, good tennis matches to watch. So, rooting for both of those guys. Also, Zizou Bergs. Zizou Bergs is the Eastbourne winner and from Belgium. He won his first career ATP title just last week in Eastbourne. He's on a winning streak of his own. He's got some personality and sparkle that reads well through a screen, Zizou Bergs does. And he's in that part of the draw with Alex de Minaur and Zverev anchoring it, which are not the strongest anchors ever. So who knows what could happen. I'm rooting for Zizou to go as far as his game will take him. I like Zizou. There's something special about Mr. Zizou Bergs from Belgium. Also, somebody I want to give your attention to is Mr. Arthur Ferry. He's the last Brit standing. Arthur Ferry is a 23-year-old wild card. He's the only British player, man or woman, remaining in singles at Wimbledon. Everyone else is gone. And Arthur Ferry beat Ben Shelton's conqueror, Otto Virtanen, in a 4-set match to reach his first ever Grand Slam third round. The crowd is obviously going to be for him when he plays his third round match. He's a Brit. Playing at Wimbledon, they'll be losing their minds. And he's a young guy, like I said, 23. Oh, and I literally have never heard of him before I Googled and realized he's the guy that Flavio Cobolli lost to in the Australian Open first round when Flavio Cobolli had diarrhea. Before now, that was his only claim to fame. Arthur Ferry beat Flavio Cobolli when Cobolli had diarrhea in the Australian Open. But now here he is at a Wimbledon third round, and he's also a Cancer. Arthur Ferry is. His birthday is July 12th. My birthday is July 13th, so there's some symmetry there. I appreciate you, Mr. Arthur Ferry. I can't describe your game yet, and you probably could walk past me without me knowing. Sorry to that man. But I will support you because we support all cancers. Britain's rooting for you, and so am I. Play free, young guy. Play free. Who else? Did I mention them in the American women part? I don't think I mentioned these two women. Quick shout-outs to two more American women I haven't really given love to. Iva Jovic, who has a complete game. I really enjoy watching her play, and I think there's a tangible hunger that I see from her when she plays. She's into the third round and plays Ekaterina Alexandrova next, who's not a big match Grand Slam player, so who knows how that could go. And also Ashton Kruger, big-hitting, tall woman out of Dallas, Texas. She's equaling her best run at a major. Her big strokes, she kind of plays like Elena Rybakina, but with more personality a little bit. Her strokes are literally made for a grass court surface, so I'll keep watching those two, Jovic and Kruger, because the American women's storyline at Wimbledon is deep, obviously, very deep. And also Emma Navarro. Just shout out to Emma Navarro. She made a grass court final the week before Wimbledon, has made a quarterfinal of Wimbledon before. She's been dealing with a thyroid condition, and I think the medication that comes with that has shifted her physicality, if you will. And she's opened up about that on her own terms, in her own time, and I respect that enormously because the internet and stuff were definitely contemplating about what was going on with her body and this, that, and the third. And for her to come out and say, this is what it is, this is what I've been going through, and to still be competing, winning trophies, going deep, being a professional athlete, none of that is easy, I don't think. And to be doing that with the medical condition is even harder. So I respect her for competing at the highest level, letting us into that part of her life, and wishing her the best. I don't think we should sleep on Emma Navarro. She is a solid all-around player, a good competitor, a tough out, all of those kind of cliche things, unfortunately. But Emma Navarro is somebody you shouldn't underestimate. And shout out to her for pushing past the physical issues. I definitely appreciate that. Respect it. All right. I think we are at the end of the show. Beloved, I hope I've gone kind of quick in this one, I think. I hope you kept up with me. I have enjoyed you guys sticking around for the Wimbledon Rundown. Rounds 1 and round 2 are in the books. The third round starts on Friday, and it is stacked. Let's go through the order of play really quickly. On center court, we have Arthur Rinderknecht versus Novak Djokovic. That is first up on center court, followed by Aryna Sabalenka, world number 1, taking on Yelena Ostapenko. Always tricky Ostapenko and always with an attitude of some sort. Then we have Felix Auger-Aliassime taking on Michael Jing. On to court number 1, we have Naomi Osaka taking on Daria Kasatkina, followed by Jannik Sinner taking on Jensen Brooksby. Kind of interesting they will put the defending champion at world number 1 on court number 1. It's kind of interesting. And then that is followed by Coco Gauff taking on Claire Liu. On the number 2 court, we have Joao Fonseca taking on Roman Safulin, a qualifier from Russia who's having a good run. That is followed by Jessica Pegula, who takes on Jessica Butas Minero. And then we finally have Hubert Hurkacz versus Tommy Paul, closing out court number 2. And then the singles matches on court number 3 are Belinda Bencic versus Anna Kalinskaya, Jan-Lennard Struff taking on Daniil Medvedev, and Karolina Muchova taking on, unfortunately, I'm going to butcher this name, and I have not mentioned her once or even said her name out loud once, but I respect the fact that she is, forging her own path. And from Thailand, I have to do my research on her because I'm sure she has an interesting story, but her name is Manachaya Sawankawa. Probably butchered that. I apologize. I will be going to YouTube immediately to figure out how to pronounce that. Sorry. But yes, that is the last match on court number 3, and I'm now going to watch it because now I need to figure out how they say her name. My name is Myles David. Thank you for listening. And my birthday is coming up. It is July officially. My birthday is July 13th. I'm a Cancer. I'm proud of that. There are some good Cancers in the world. I don't care if you find some random serial killer that was a Cancer. I'm still a good Cancer. And I'm also not above letting you know that my Cash App and Zelle will absolutely be on my socials, okay? If you want to send me a birthday coffee or a birthday margarita, because times are hard, that is completely valid. And it's a way to support the show and support me. So I appreciate it. Think of it as like a digital tip jar, if you will, for your favorite tennis podcast host, okay? It supports me, supports the show. It's a win-win for everybody. We all win. Just saying. One more thing. I've been told Belgium are doing its thing in the World Cup. They just beat Senegal. I know Senegal is an African country. Shout out to my people. But Belgium beat them in a very upsetty kind of way. I know nothing about the World Cup, but I was at Tacos and Beer on Tuesday night in New Orleans on St. Charles. I was there, and Mexico happened to be playing Ecuador. And listen, it was rocking in there, okay? That's all I know. So I'll be keeping one very small ear to the World Cup streets while I keep both of my eyes locked on Wimbledon for you, okay? Priorities, people. Priorities. All right, you guys. Thank you for riding with me today. Share this episode if it brought you some joy or made you laugh. Whatever it has made you do, I appreciate it. Leave a review wherever you listen. The reviews definitely matter. I appreciate them. That genuinely helps push the show forward and puts it in front of new ears. So if you're listening, please leave a comment and a review. Follow on all socials. That is Tuned Into Tennis across all of them. Instagram, Threads, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Did I say that already? Yes, I did. And I will talk to you guys as we get deeper into the second week of Wimbledon. The draw is open. There's so many third-round matches that are going to be good, potential fourth-round matches, and so on. I love the grass. It looks beautiful on my television. Somebody unexpected might just win the whole thing. I like when that happens sometimes. And if they do, you'll be the first to hear it at Tuned Into Tennis. I'm Myles David again, and I will talk to you guys next time. Take care.